who didn't vote for Melissa in the same room.
Oh,
We're gonna look so
Yeah.
suspicious.
yeah. I guess for me, I thought like it was either Melissa or Brad, and so if Brad was like if Brad was voted out and he was a traitor, then I think it's less likely to be Melissa and
Well,
vice
because
versa.
there didn't seem like any traitor on traitor arguments going on.
I was just
So
gonna say, could it have been traitor on traitor? I don't know.
I don't think so. Like
Could
it
they have
just didn't
caught
seem
wind
like
that we
it.
were 50-50 and then they just threw each other under the bus? I don't know.
But I'm like, did they? They didn't really go at it or anything.
Not really. Not really. She could have been a little bit more timid though and stuck to her
Yeah.
guns in their initial promise saying, I'll never go against you.
Does anyone, I mean, I'll ask Matt myself, but like Matt mentioned like earlier today that he was like gung ho almost on Melissa. Like, where did that come from? Does anyone know? Because he was like really, to me, pushing her name. And I was like,
Mm.
I mean, like
I guess
what caught on to it for him?
I
Like, I
guess
didn't.
Matt had mentioned something about like now that Stick is gone, it's a good time to go after Melissa. But he didn't, to me, he didn't provide a reason except that she doesn't really give like reasoning for things.
Okay. Yeah.
I think with her, why I voted for her is I think since the beginning, I've just seen her as the overly nice person. And I just felt that's a really good traitor
Well,
facade.
What up?
I was saying earlier, like she's avoided me the last 2 days, and like when I
Mm.
reached out, she like does, and I'm like, is that because she thinks I can catch her if she said misspeaks or something, or what? I was very like mid on Melissa, I will admit. So,
She
but
didn't
I was
answer
just
me
saying,
today.
Matt. I was just saying,
Yeah.
Matt, that you like were pretty early on, like today, saying that it was Melissa for you. What did you catch on to with that?
It's just again, it's the wishy-washiness, where you can tell when somebody's waiting to hear what others will say,
Yeah.
and if it's something good, something meaty, then they jump on it. On the show, that happens all the fucking time. The traders will do that. They're afraid to initiate because then they're throwing out a theory, and the suspicion can come back to them.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about it like that. And again, for me, Victoria, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Victoria. But again, it came down to one of the girls is possibly a traitor, So after last night happened, losing the suspicion on Victoria, but it's like Melissa is looking good,
Good job.
Yeah.
You left when you said that.
She
Oh damn.
pulled.
She's like, I don't want to hear that
She
bullshit.
got pulled, I'm sure.
She got pulled.
Yeah, it's I don't think I would have was expecting Melissa to go. I was like, it's like a bad faithful to me, but yeah, you're right.
Jonathan, do you remember on Friday I told you I thought it was Melissa?
Yes, I feel like a couple people have mentioned it. I feel like to other people it's been a little like middle, like not thrilled with how she's been, but it wasn't really like for me that I really soaked it in until today, until I spoke to Matt, and I was like, okay, and then I like reviewed it, and I was like, yeah, I can see it, and then there was just no other names that came out. Like that round table was very. I mean, we got a traitor, fantastic, but the round table to me was a little muted, and I was just like, wait, I was like, where's the fight in people? Like, where's, like like trying to deflect or anything, and I mean, she didn't even give that.
Sorry, you off, Jonathan.
Yeah, go.
But for me, when Adam had gotten banished, I realized that I need to stop going into the roundtables with like it's got to be this one thing. And I've been having more of an open mind, and that's how I went in tonight. I had an open mind. I even sat back and let some of the conversations happen just to listen. And Patrice did an excellent job, like kind of questioning her, kind of putting her on the spot. I think Anthony was the one that had mentioned as well, where it was like, well, I have a couple people in mind, and then that's it. And it's like, well, you gotta say who you feel, even if the person's in the room, they may not like it.
Right.
But that's why I respected Stick for what she did in the last live. Me and her were in a room, and she straight up said, well, I'm either voting Victoria or Matt, right in front of me. Sometimes gameplay like that is good. That's a person being open and honest,
Now, who did Melissa vote for in this game so far? Because I'm not writing notes. I know Brad one night.
She voted for Brandon tonight.
And then who's the other one?
She was one of the Victoria votes last time.
She voted for Tina the second time.
I think
Okay.
I think for me, like, and I told you, I know this, Jonathan, and maybe all of you guys. I changed I quit trying to figure out who I thought was traitors and started making a list of who do I trust, right? And so, like Jonathan, I told you, like, to me, you cemented your place as a faithful this last, the last roundtable of what I could
I
see.
don't have a shield. Don't say that.
Well, I mean, I think you're suspicious, but anyway,
Okay.
but I think, like, for me, that's how I got to Melissa was I had to make a list of who do I trust, and she was the one I trusted the least. Therefore, that's how I did that.
I've been making lists. My lists aren't working.
No, that's okay.
My latest list is, hold on, where did I put Melissa? I want to see.
Jonathan, I'm sure she was lower on both of ours.
I want to see. Okay, 8 out of 10. Okay, top 3. Yeah.
Matt, how's your day going?
I'm flying high.
Oh, Anthony.
It's doable. Do we think that, because Stick told me that there's no way Melissa was one. I spoke to Stick almost like Stick was
too, and
messaging me
Stick
until like
told
2
me-
a.m. tonight. And like I spoke to Stick so much in the last 24 hours. Like was watching WrestleMania. Her son came and visited her at like 2 a.m. She sent me like 3, 4, 5 videos of stuff. And she was adamant that it wasn't Melissa.
But
Do
she
you think
told me
Melissa
he
was? Do we think Melissa was fooling? She told you she was?
See, that's the thing I couldn't figure out with Stick is
She told me she wasn't.
then she told me she wasn't. Then she said, that's why I was like very confused as to what was going on. But she obviously talked to you more than she talked to me. But
Just
she
in the last 24 hours, yeah.
Yeah, she kept saying, Brad, you're my number one in this game, which she may have said to you too. She kept saying, Brad, you're my number one in this game. And I think, she said, I think it's Melissa. But I don't know.
So weird.
When
Because
did
I
she
was
tell
like,
you that, Brad? Was that like,
What's that?
when did she tell you that? I'm just trying to think
Yeah,
timeline
like
because
2 or
Jonathan
3
said it was last night.
Yeah, she told me that like 2 or 3 days ago, but then she told me yesterday she didn't think it was her. So I don't know. I just don't know with her. But hey, Patrice, good
Other
job.
than,
We got one.
yeah, what?
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
other than Stick, who was Melissa talking to?
myself.
I don't know.
And I was in a group with her and Brendan and Adam at the beginning and Victoria.
She shut me down immediately the day before yesterday when I was like, hey, how's it going? Blah, 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 whatever. You started your weekend. And she was like, I just don't like how everything went down with Adam. And then that was it. And I was like, okay.
She was very quiet when we met our group chat, Jonathan, too. The 3 of us.
Yeah, she hasn't said anything.
Yeah, it was very like, I'm good kind of thing, or very like minimal, like, oh, hey.
Well,
I
didn't
felt-
respond that night and responded the next day. Like, hey, yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So now my thinking, supposedly there was supposed to be a challenge for murder last time. Now that we know Melissa was a traitor, was there anything that she possibly did that may have stood out? Or
Great point.
because I was just thinking about that, I'm like, there had to have been something. Like, did anybody talk to her like that?
I mean, she was unsuccessful, so I don't know.
But
I will say, Brad, because I haven't said this yet officially, like, because Melissa's a traitor, I actually no longer think you are. So
Thank you.
lower on my list.
Thank you. I'm not.
I just don't think I didn't see that like traitor on traitor, attack. So I just don't think.
And you know what, Brad? I think you're the one that brought up this point. It is good to go into the roundtables, with some kind of trust. I feel like the mutual trust that you have for the people that you're conversating with, you can feel their authenticity in their words.
Yeah.
So I feel like that like came into play today, and look what we did. We were able to fucking get one of them.
And I think that Brad, since you knew that a lot of us weren't voted for you, so you came into the roundtable explaining yourself more calmly because you know what, my back is not against the wall. I may have some suspicions on me, but I'm just going to explain myself. It's not like when you feel like you might actually go, it's more stressful. So you explain yourself pretty calmly, I feel.
Thank you.
It was really convincing.
I was kind of surprised to hear Victoria saying my name, but then I was like, yeah, I mean, I was like, think again, it's helped me so much to think about who do I trust less, you know? And so I I do wonder about Brandon, honestly. Like, I'm still wondering about that and the way he reacted and stuff. That's still there for me.
Yeah, but I haven't told what I know about Brendan to Jonathan yet. I'm gonna do that after the yeah, that was too quick, and I wasn't sure. And why I voted for Brandon was just to point directions at him, and I wasn't sure if Melissa would actually go because of the discussion. I didn't. I wasn't sure like if everybody was going to vote for her. And since I was close to her and I was making her feel like yeah we're good because I didn't want her to kill me again, but I had my suspicions on her.
Oh
So
yeah,
this
she would
way,
have killed you. Yeah.
It was
wow,
also,
I think
Wow.
so.
Wow.
he also was pretty quick to say, oh, that was the other person I was going to vote for. After he voted for
Mm,
Victoria, but then he was like, oh, I was going to vote for her too.
mm. What do you mean, Jonathan? Wow, I didn't.
No, I never even thought because you said you had spoken a lot to her and she was talking to you. Didn't you just say she was talking to you all like up to leading to like your murder or whatever?
Yeah,
And so it just clicked right now when you said that. I was like, yeah, she did murder you and was speaking to you the whole night before. I guess that was her attempt at deceiving,
yeah,
but like almost like why? Because if you were going to be murdered, then like
yeah, I'm gone and that's it.
you wouldn't be
Like,
able to talk to anyone, right? So,
I know,
I mean,
hmm,
she probably thought that he was talking to other people too. Like, oh yeah, I'm talking to so and so, and if
okay,
like
yeah,
there's that there peeking to like, oh well, you know,
but
Patrice told you I was talking to him, so
yeah,
but honestly, I feel like she was probably pushed to vote for me because like it didn't really make sense. Like you have to keep the person, and Melissa wasn't really close to. She was close to Stick, but I don't see her being close to, or maybe she is, and we just don't know. But I felt like we talked a lot, so she should have kept me. It was a
Mhm.
weird move on her part. Probably an attempt to frame Jonathan, maybe, or I don't know.
Mhm.
We
But I
also have
feel
to
like
assume
somebody else didn't have another trader didn't have a relationship with me, and they were
that yeah,
two against one, and they decided to go for me. And she said, "Well, okay, just let's go."
and she would have
that's
voted
exactly the
Makes
for
point I
sense.
was gonna
murder
get at.
Caleb
We
too.
I was gonna say that was the point I was gonna get at too. Like we have to assume that if there are multiple traders, more than
Mm,
likely they influence how she felt about that. Even if
exactly.
I
if
don't think there
you
was
know,
enough of a consensus on her for the other traders to vote for her. Does that make sense?
Say it again. I'm
I think
sorry.
I don't think there was enough of a consensus that was going to be her for the other traders to think, well, I'm going to vote for her to protect my identity. Like, I,
Well,
I
the
don't.
only people who didn't was me, Patrice, and Victoria. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Let's see, Patrice, Jonathan,
No,
Victoria,
that
and
Danielle,
Melissa.
don't write my name down because I know you. Yeah, your suspicion's gonna be on me again.
I
Like I
actually,
don't want
I
that.
don't
mean,
write my
for
name
me,
down.
I actually
No,
think that they did vote for Melissa.
so
What?
you want to go first, Jonathan, then we can
No, sir. Go
circle back.
ahead. The dog. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna go back to what again. I don't think it's Brandon. However, Melissa did vote for him, and he voted for Melissa.
No, he voted for Victoria, didn't he?
Did he vote for Victoria?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah, I
voted for
voted for
Did
Victoria.
he?
Victoria. Yeah.
Whoops.
So Jonathan, basically, I told Danielle and I told Matt, but last night I was shuffled like randomly, and I was shuffled into a room, and Brandon was by himself, and I was probably switched with another player, or he was talking to himself, but I heard him say, "I played them well. I played them well." Was it a challenge? Was it something? And then I arrived on screen, and he went like. So I said, "Oh, hi, Brandon. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to be there." I was like, and then I tried to move myself, but it was really, really awkward. And
You
I
said
heard
you said
him
you said I played them well. Is that what you said?
Stop. And
Okay.
did you bring it up to Brendan or call him out on it?
not tonight because I wasn't sure
You're gonna.
enough that,
I mean, I hope at some point because I would love to hear his
What he
response
has
to
to
that.
say.
yeah.
I mean, like to me, it's getting, and we're getting down to it. Yeah, Brandon's like, for me, potentially bad faithful. But like maybe so am I. So because I haven't been voting right at all. So, yeah, I don't know. But that's really interesting, Patrice.
Mm.
I'd love to hear his defense on that. But like in a
Uh,
public setting.
I just wasn't sure enough to like go at it like really strong tonight with him, and
Hmm.
that's ended up being good because Melissa's gone.